Or Shalom. So like I said, call Lord Yahawah, Shim Kapadash, the monster, 10 always apostles, great millstone, tell us true citation like Israel. It's gonna be a quick lesson. But this is reasons why, some brothers may need to just for some brothers, you could probably deal with the women, have a woman and still be strong in the truth, and have a mind, that you won't get too, emotional into it, if she starts want to break up or leave. Sometimes you gotta let that motherfucker go. But you got brothers, and sometimes it's good to be single, and there's nothing wrong with that. Being this thing, man. Because at the end of the day, women are distractions, or they can be a distraction. So if you're one of the brothers, that just needs, and you know who you are. You gotta deal with a lot of women. Women really take you off. Make you want to do, put the motherfuckers down and shit. Maybe, man, sometimes, man, you just gotta be single in this thing, man, till you be able to handle it. Maybe just be single for good, but there's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, it, takes away from the distractions. Because a woman can be a mad distraction, is true, okay? They can distract you from, the scriptures. And where you will be reading more, doing more scriptures. But then now you got to cater to her because she's like, oh, well, can I get my this? No, wait, can we talk? Real quick? All this distracting thing. And if that's not something you can handle, like if you can't handle having, another person to, speak to or whatever, that's going to be around or whatever, then, shit, it's all right to be single, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because our whole goal is a kingdom. All right, the whole goal is a kingdom, or at least until you can get to the point when you're at a point where you can deal with both. You can deal with her, tell her shut the fuck up. When it's time to do your scriptures, man, you do your scriptures. And then whatever. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a beautiful thing too, because it helps you focus more on Yahawashi, okay, and also shows the Most High that you ain't in it for the women. You're in it really for the Lord. You don't need a woman to keep on pushing this truth. And you pushing this because you truly love Yahawashi. So it's beautiful, man. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 26. I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. But if you have a woman, she's right, man, don't be, seeking whatever to be loose, because then that's your woman, But, and if, seek not to be loose, art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife, so the same thing, this is why, if thou loose from a wife, seek not a wife. So, if you loose from her, don't seek, to have, go back entangled with it. See, because it has to be some reason why you got loose from her. There has to be a reason why you got rid of her. Okay? So don't, seek to go back into it. See? Because the Lord could have saved you from that particular person or that that person, man. Because these women can be off, extremely wicked, man. All right. But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. Yeah, man, because like I said, women be they be tripping, But this I say, brethren, the time is short. I remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. See, and that's how you gotta be, in this thing. So because it could be a distraction as to you. So brothers, if you have a woman, you have to be as though you have none in this truth. So you have to make sure that you keep the Most High first, the Lord's first. You still doing what you gotta do for the Lord. You're going to hours and byways. She ain't telling you what to do. You're not getting distracted by her. You know, she ain't controlling you when you leave or when you don't leave. You know, she don't, control when you do your videos, and not she'll control, be as though you have none. Because that's how you gotta be in this thing. Because you gotta sacrifice. You know, sometimes you gotta sacrifice that time with her. Because you gotta give your time with the Most High. Okay? So this is how you gonna make it. Because sometimes the Lord can send you a woman for a test, and that woman could just see, and then that woman could be secretly Satan under the skies trying to get you to do some fucked up shit. The fault is true. Because, man, this whole thing is truth, man. All right? And they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. But that's, the point where I want it. Let's go ahead and get this. This is verse, okay, let's jump down here. Okay, yeah, let's get the verse. We're going to jump to 31. 1 Corinthians 7:31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So use this world, but don't abuse it. Because this shit passes away at the end of the day. Because, this shit passes away. This shit ain't forever, man. So don't be getting too attached to anything in this world. Any type of material you got, anything, man. You got to be willing to drop it all and die for the Most High. Because the Lord comes back, don't be that man that be like, wait, Lord, delay if you're coming. Don't be that man, Fuck this world, man. But, use it to get around, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, make your bread, whatever, man. Do what you got to do. But, man, don't abuse it, man. Don't get too attached to the shit, these materialistic shits, okay? But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried care for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. See? So when you're not dealing with a woman, you're not worrying about another woman. See? You're not worrying about another woman. This is what Paul was saying. You're not worrying about another woman. See, because when you're unmarried, you're not dealing with you don't have another woman. You're just doing, the things of the Lord. You're just worrying about the cares of the Lord, man. Okay? You're not worried about the bullshit. You're not worried about the woman. All right? You ain't worrying about the cares of the woman. Okay? You're not worried about another motherfuckers, what the fuck they got going on. You ain't hearing no nagging in your ear. You ain't hearing no bitch with a problem. Okay? You don't even worry about the things of the Most High. There, right? Schlock, I lost what I was. All right, right here. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried cares for the things that belong to the Lord, for he may please the Lord. But he that is married care for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. See? And that's what's true. But he that is married cares for the things that are of the world, how he may please the wife. And that's what a lot of men fall from. Because they care so much. They care so much for their woman that they care for the things that start to care for the things of the world to give to the woman. And they forget about Yahawashi. See, that's the trick bag in it. This is why you have to, when you have one woman, you have to be as you don't got one. All right? And hey, man, you got to, so you got to get rid of them distractions. Because, man, they can fuck you up in the long run, man. They can fuck you up. So it can even be that it's not that you even care for worldly things. It can even be that you don't even care for the world. But your woman is worldly 9 times out of 10. And she loves the worldly things. So therefore, by default, you care for the worldly things. See? There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman care for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy, both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cares for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. And this I spec for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you. but for that which is comely, that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. See, there you go. And that's the whole point. And this I speak for your own profit. See, this is to profit you. See, this is for, for us, man. For us, to make it in this thing. This is how we're going to make it. Okay? This is how we're going to make it in this thing. All right? But, this is why we got to go through the scriptures. Because, these men has already went through it. This is why we got to go back, and read. All right? And that this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. And that's what we got to do, man. Attend upon Yahawashi, shout without distraction, man. And these women can definitely be that. Okay? They can definitely be that. We're going to go, we're going to start here. This is Ecclesiastes 7:25. I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly and even foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snared in nets and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. See? Because why these women are so off, man. They can make you do some shit that, man, you wouldn't even think you would fucking do. End up somewhere in jail. End up somewhere locked up. End up somewhere dead on the street over some bitch. She can end up finding out the truth over some bitch. Shit, you in prison, you can't do the work of the Lord no more. See, this is what, Solomon was saying. King Solomon was saying, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snared in nets and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And so if you a man of the Lord, you're going to escape from her because you please the Most High. But if you a sinner, you're going to get taken by her. You're going to fall into the things of the world. You're going to end up doing shit, that you didn't think that you would do. See, these are all things you got to take into account. Sirach 26:14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. And that's a gift from the Most High. If that's very rare, that to get. But if one of you brothers got it, well, that's beautiful. But that's a gift from when a woman's quiet, okay. And that's the woman that you should really be looking for, when you're in this truth, man. You shouldn't be looking for no hoes. No little whore, as your wife, as your woman, as no loudmouth bitch. You be trying to strive, if really you strive for Yahawashi Mashah. But if you are, looking for a woman, that's the type of woman you should look for. As a silent woman, a silent and loving woman, because in the end of the day, it's a gift from the Lord. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her countenance mind cannot be valued. See, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her countenance mind cannot be valued. Because and that's a rarity here, a super rarity to find here. All right, so that's a super rarity to find here, man. All right, we're gonna end off. I don't want to make this too long. We're gonna end off here. So Matthew 6:22. And off this scripture right here, man, because we gotta always make sure, man, that at the end of the day we keep our eyes on Yahawah Shemel Shah, man. We gotta keep, just mainly what this video is about, man, because we gotta keep our, minds together for the Lord. So like I said, if you just one of them brothers that stay single, man, that's fine. Hey, shit, nothing wrong with that at all, man. Because at the end of the day, keeping your focus up for Yahweh Shema Shah. You always make sure you do what you gotta do for the Lord. Man, you just one of them brothers, man. You're on a bit of the emotional side. You ain't, able to contain yourself to them type of points. You ain't fucking with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's best for you to just, stay single, man. That's really what it is, man. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't no shame, no nothing. Because at the end of the day, this is about Yahweh, man. This is about making it to the kingdom, to Yahawashi, man. And that's the glory. So you're going to get the women either way. So Isaiah 4:1 said women should take hold of one man. Okay? Saying we'll wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name. Take away our reproach. So they're going to be begging to be with you. And they're going to be right. Okay? This is Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light and where's our heart at? It should be in the man. It should be with the Lord. Okay, should be with Yahawashi. Okay, our treasure is the kingdom, not this world. We don't. It's why you can't give a fuck about the shit in this world, man. We just using this shit, but genuinely don't give a fuck about none of this material shit. All right. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. See? With no distraction. That's what that's meaning. So if your eye be single, if you only focus on Yahawashi, you got tunnel vision in this truth, and your whole body's light. That's beautiful, man. That's mad beautiful. And you keep it up. Call Lord Yahawashi. So, hey, not many brothers got it. You know? That's beautiful right there. So, and this is what we have to do. We have to have tunnel vision in this thing. Gotta have tunnel vision. Only seeking after Yahawashi. Should be chasing none. Should people like, chase the bad, chase the chase the woman. No, fuck that. We should be chasing Yahawashi. See? Now, when you're here, your little side quest is, they just come while you're chasing Yahawashi. But you walking on doing whatever. Got your little woman on the side. That's cool. Whatever they is what it is. Who gives a fuck? You make your bread. Getting your money and shit. You don't get your own business. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I'm chasing Yahawashi. Because if these motherfuckers go, I won't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, I got the Lord. The woman and the money ain't gonna drop me. Ain't none gonna drop me from this truth. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for the Lord. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm chasing. Because at the end of the day, that's who I got. At the end of the day, that's who saved me. At the end of the day, that's who kept me out. That's who kept me away from the wicked shit. That's what kept me out of danger. That's who saved me. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the bitches. It wasn't Esau Edom. It wasn't this kingdom. It was Yahawashi. So that's who I'm chasing. That's the mindset you gotta have. All right? And man, that's 100% true, man. Okay? The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So if you have no distraction, man, your whole body shall be full of light, man. So it's beautiful. Your spirit, man. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? And you won't make it. Because at the end of the day, you let that woman control your life. Or whatever it is. Okay, not only just women, but that's the main topic. So I'm mostly saying that. But it can be anything. So you got to remember, man. So whatever, take away any distractions that's distracting you from the Lord. You either control it or you get rid of it. If that thing is uncontrollable, you got to get rid of it. Remember that. Okay? If you can't tame it, get rid of it. Put it down. What do you do with a dog when your dog's out of order? When your dog bites you, you have an untamed dog. You got to put that motherfucker down. You put an untamed dog down. Get rid of that motherfucker and get a new. Right? That's what you got to do with these distractions. You cannot control these distractions, make these distractions no longer a distraction. You got to get rid of it. All right? So with that, like I said, call Lord Yahawah, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Karkadash, Daman Sales, Apostle, Millstone, Tarshu, Citation of Elect Israel. This is Brother Tajba with that. Shalom, Ball.